We're live.
What?
I never know if I'm centered on the camera once I sit down. It's probably going to be, I'm going to check it afterwards, and the whole, not the whole, half of my face is going to be cut off here.
And we'll start calling you Two-Face.
You could do that.
Yeah, Two-Face.
Two-Face. Anyways. So we're coming at you live on Sunday.
On Sunday.
We're going to be a bit sporadic these next couple weeks until we get more in routine with our Monday mornings. It's summer. Schedule's off. We're going to be here when we can be here. And we're glad that you're here with us. Thank you, friends.
Hi.
So, continuing the conversation, last week we talked about opening up to endless possibilities. Today, we're going to focus on the positive and negative creations that are associated with these endless possibilities. So when we first came up with this topic, I thought, oh boy, we're going to be talking about manifestation and things that we desire, to be able to create in this life. But also I want to address how we maybe unintentionally manifest negative experiences. That's another part of endless possibilities from the negative sense, from the suffering sense. Polarity. We talk about polarity a lot.
We do.
Yeah.
Because it's
everything.
Much, yeah.
It's everything. So starting with unintentionally manifesting negativity, I have memories of myself doing this where I would think the worst case scenario could happen. And so in that fear, I would try to prepare myself. Well, if this were to happen, I would do this. I do this a lot. I know I'm not the only one. I think we've talked about this. You may do this too. But if somebody breaks into my home, A, B, C, D, E, here's all of the different steps that I would take in that scenario.
Bake them some cookies.
Well, yeah.
Welcome them.
My approach has changed over the years from kill him to let's talk about why you're doing this. What's inside of you? What has led you? Well, yeah, what do you need? You want some money here? How about we do a fundraiser for you?
I got chocolate chip muffins.
Be blessed. Got chocolate chip pancakes. No, not pancakes, muffins.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I saw cookies when you said chocolate chip. I think I want chocolate chip cookies. And then
is that because you had chocolate chip cookies last night?
Probably. But I've been making muffins. Maybe I need to, anyways, bake other things too. So our mind can go through all of these different scenarios and how we would approach it. But really, why do we do that in the first place? And do we want to keep doing that? Is it serving ourselves in the present moment? And what could be a different way that we can approach life where we're not focusing on either creating scenario or thinking about what would happen if we face certain scenarios?
Well, it comes back to what we talked about initially is surrendering to the flow of the universe. I mean, we create those scenarios to create a sense of control, a sense of safety inside of ourselves. And we want to be prepared for the worst case scenario. But as oftentimes you'll hear, what your energy is projecting is what it's attracting. And if you're sitting around going, okay, well, this terrible thing can happen, this terrible thing can happen, and so on, then that's what's coming in. And if we don't, this is the elevator game.
Sorry. Give our audience a look, but hopefully, maybe he won't notice. I don't want to interrupt. This is good. It's good material.
I don't even know what I was saying now.
I got caught in the elevator.
Yeah, we want the safety of control. We create the scenarios to control, to hopefully be prepared to control whatever comes our way, but we're actually just manifesting those negative thoughts if we're not focusing on, everything could just be fine too, and you won't have to do anything. And if you can release that out into the world, that's what you'll attract.
Control's I think, an important word in this conversation, because control, we can think of control as we're trying to control a situation because we're fearful, or we are controlling our lives by manifesting through thought what we desire to experience. And there's two different minds that energy can come from. We can connect with the thinking mind, which is going to be that place of fear of, well, I need to control this situation. I need to control the circumstances around this person, this event, my job, my kids, all of that, because we're afraid of what could happen if we surrender to whatever unknown the entity is in control of all of this experience. But then...
She's getting violent early.
But then, if we are controlling from the higher mind, higher consciousness, we realize that we are that entity
Which
in
one?
charge of all of this. The higher consciousness. Bill. We are the ones in control of how we experience reality, and we can bend and move the energy of matter from that higher place, from a spiritual perspective, from a place of everything is in harmony, and I'm going to be in the flow of that harmony and watch things unfold and nudge things in the direction of what I desire to experience, not because I'm afraid, but because I'm here to play around with all of this energy that's taken form in this way. But I think the majority of time we control from the thinking mind, which gets us into trouble.
Right. But the thinking mind has ways of overcoming that as well, where and this is not the recommended process, I would say, but like take scenarios where you're dreading doing something, but you know you have to do it, and you just put it out of your mind. Completely ignoring it until the time comes. It can help, and it can allow the negative manifestations not to unfold, but it also prevents the positive manifestations to unfold. I think that would fall more into like a coping mechanism sort of thing than anything else, because it's the thinking mind that's doing it. It's protecting itself from the doubt and the worry, because maybe you've seen in the past that what you fear has unfolded in front of you, and you subconsciously connect that to your thoughts of the negative thing happening.
And it takes the awareness from the higher mind to be able to see, is this the thinking mind thinking negative thoughts, trying to make it a reality for itself? And also there's masked positive thought that come through too, like everything's going to be okay. I know everything works out for a reason. And there's a different feel, like when I am...
That's what I tell people.
With what?
When they don't listen for the 100th time, I go, well, everything works out.
It's just a throwaway, like, you'll be fine, kid.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. And so for me, and I would love, please comment, because this is a conversation. This is meant to be a conversation, and we would love to know your experience of this. But I can feel within myself when I am brushing off the existence of the negative emotion inside of me by replacing it with some sort of false positive quip like that.
Yeah, it even feels fake when you're saying it.
Like I feel it in my body, like it's just clearly I'm like covering up the shit underneath. Versus when I feel genuine positive energy, 9 times out of 10, I'm silent and enjoying it. There's nothing to necessarily say about it. It's just this feeling of of peace, of I'm aware of things happening, these experiences that are uncomfortable. Here's the suffering. There's that energy. And simultaneously, I feel peace. And I don't need to say anything about it. I don't need to describe it. I simply feel it. Does that make sense? Am I describing it? Like, is this relatable? Or am I just the weirdo, as your shirt says?
Well, you are
Glad
a
I'm welcome
weirdo.
here. You didn't know what shirt you were wearing today?
Just since 2020. Though. Before that, you were
Before that, I was
welcome.
not welcome. Very true.
No, that makes sense. It doesn't really matter, though, whether you're just basking in the happiness or not. That's just your way of handling it. Some people can jump with joy,
And it's genuine.
Right. Yeah, you feel when things are genuine or not. I think everybody intuitively feels when they're being genuine with themselves or not. And I think a lot of negative thought pattern comes from people who build up the false positive the most. It creates a depression inside of you where you're inwardly lying and outwardly lying at the same time.
So, what is genuine happiness? So we have on our website searching for wholeness, not happiness. So I'm usually hesitant to use the word happiness, but a conversation that I want to have a part of this, and maybe for you the word is peace. Maybe it's harmony. So maybe it's not always just happiness, but whatever that feeling is that we get, where it's like that feeling.
I've never had that feeling.
You've never had it? I have that every day. Sometimes it's genuine, sometimes it's not.
It was definitely not genuine when I just did.
So what is it like laughter? Okay, so I didn't say, Helena, now you're gonna laugh. It was just it just happened, and it was an impulse, and it was a feeling, and it felt delightful. It felt delightful to experience that.
It's not just that it comes from nothing. There are moments with laughter where, when we talk about how laughter gets out of control, like I couldn't stop laughing or things like that, that's pure joy. And it's a lot of times the joke or whatever made you laugh has passed, but you're still laughing because of you're not used to the feeling of being in a state of joy. And oftentimes other people in the room stop laughing because they don't feel that same joy that you do. And then they, a lot of times, make fun of you or belittle you for like going overboard, but like, who cares? You were in a state of joy.
Yeah. I had more to say. I didn't want to interrupt. Yeah. I want to make sure that you were complete with that thought. And yeah, that is like it can, even in joy, feel simultaneously uncomfortable because we may not be used to feeling that level of joy for ourselves. And we also may not be used to being that joyful around other people. I've been learning with myself that there's times when I mute the joy that I have or downplay it because of people in my life who don't appear to be joyful. They're maybe going through something. And so then I have that thought in my mind that would say, well, don't be too joyful because you don't want the other person to feel bad that somebody else around them is happy and how great for them to be happy. And here I am in my suffering. And so that's something I'm beginning to move out of, but it also brings this awareness within me that I recognize now that the level of joy, of happiness that I feel is equal to the amount of grief and pain that I've allowed myself to feel, and to see both of them as positive experiences. So even in the grief, being able to open my heart and allow this energy, not to even in those moments label it as grief, but as love taking a form inside of my body, or grace coming in to transform me in that moment. And that happens in times of what I've labeled as grief, and that's happened in times of pure joy. I've recognized in reflection over the years that even in myself, there was a limit to how joyful I felt comfortable feeling.
Yeah, would allow yourself to.
Because of the fear of, oh, well, if I'm this happy now, then eventually that's going to change because we live in this impermanent world. I feel so joyful with this person, but I can't let myself feel too joyful because eventually they're going to leave, And so allowing myself to be comfortable in those more, using positive and negative can be confusing. So some more of the emotions associated with suffering, the more I connect with those emotions and allow myself to feel comfortable and safe within those, that's allowed me to feel more comfortable and safe in some of the more joyful emotions.
Understanding that, and I don't want this to be some cheap, deep talk about something, but understanding the suffering versus the joy, I guess, or just feeling good. We accept the fact that they both exist, but that's the problem in these scenarios, is that we don't like them. We don't accept them. Mm-hmm. But we accept that the sun sets every night, and then the sun rises again in the morning, and there's no difference.
Yeah.
There's absolutely zero difference between it. Without the dark, there is no light. Otherwise, everything would just be nothing. Mm-hmm. So even in those moments of suffering, it's great to acknowledge the existence of suffering. It's like being so scared to go out at night,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there are people that can't do it, that are fearful of it. And it boils down to the acceptance that without the other, there can only be nothing.
Mm-hmm. And what do we want? Do we want nothing, or do we want something?
Yeah, there's a whole life to experience in darkness. There's a whole life to experience in suffering. Mm-hmm. And you're gonna experience it no matter what you try and do. Just accept it for what it is and move through the paths.
Mm-hmm. And this is the importance of, when we're in a period of suffering, not to focus on how other people are involved, or how to control the situation, because I'm finding that when I let go of control and I allow the emotional energy to work through me, I don't need to do anything to move my life forward. The energy does it for me. It's like, it's to me, it feels like I'm this robot that is now out of order, and the universe is coming in to fix it. And so I just relax as the robot, and the universe comes in and starts moving things around, and it feels painful. It feels, maybe some parts come out and new parts come in, and I'm just here taking it. But at first, the discomfort can be overwhelming, but then after a while, because I met it when I go through these phases, and you may notice you don't see me for periods of time because this is what I'm doing. And I'm meditating into this because I don't want to carry forward anything that I have an opportunity in that suffering to let go of. So I let the universe work inside of me, transforming me. And then on the other side, the sense of liberation is so much more profound versus when I, even using intuition to navigate a scenario, that can be controlling a situation. You know, what do the cards say about this? Or what do my guides say about this?
What do the
Not
cards
to
say
say
about
don't utilize those, because it can be a way to play with the energy and do the self-inquiry. Also giving ourselves time to just lay there and breathe and allow the energy to move through us transforms us in a different way that the intellect can never accomplish. I'm not finding any other way for myself than that.
The intellect only is going to come with a thinking mind solution. It's only going to come with logic or illogical conclusions. Both are creations. Both are manifestation. Yes, meditation and sitting in silence will allow you to break free of the thinking mind part. I, for whatever reason, have found it incredibly simple to shift between the two in a moment-to-moment basis, where I can be walking and freaking out about something in my thinking mind and then just continue on what I'm doing, but shift the thoughts over.
Yeah.
But those are the moments where I'm most silent. It's not that I have to go somewhere and meditate on it. It's that I just shift the mindset in the moment, or from where I'm drawing my information from.
Well, are you finding that your meditation practice, your stillness, your breath work prepares you for those day-to-day moments?
Absolutely.
Because that's what I find too.
I would never have reached that ability without
a regular
having,
meditation practice. Yeah, that I echo that for sure. And I'm noticing that too in this last period of discomfort and meditating through it. And now on this side, I'm practicing that exact thing where if a negative thought comes through and then I feel emotion brewing up from that, I go into that conscious part of the conscious intellect to be able to look at the scenario of, does this energy make sense to carry forward? And if it doesn't, then I let it pass and I focus on what is it in the present moment that feels right and good. Like yesterday I had some emotion come up and I'm writing these letters on this wall and I'm meditating through it, and then the emotion would come up and then I let it go and I'm like, oh, how wonderful it is that, I mean, genuinely, like, I get to do this and I'm creating art on a wall and that felt so good to be able to do that, versus if the thinking mind was working simultaneously, I could complete that whole wall and not be connected to the joy of the process of that.
Right.
So I'm not recognizing the blessing around me when I'm in the thinking mind. I'm just focusing on these negative thought patterns. I don't want to live like that anymore.
Right. I don't want to give people techniques or advice or things like that, but because we all have to come up with our own ways of moving.
Call it inspiration.
Oh, it's so inspiring. But just finding something in your space that you do enjoy, even if it's like, I like the way that rock looks on the ground, just finding that. It's like in yoga when you find your drishti and you're focused and been in balance. And I just pick things in a space that I enjoy. Or even like, and it doesn't have to be visual. It could be something you smell or hear. anything, but tending not to get, some people are more irritated by sight or sound or smells. That's why it's really all up to you. But and maybe the technique just doesn't work in general. Sometimes I'll just visualize my cat purring and with its happy little smile, and she's not even around, and that always,
So it's a way to use imagination in a positive
yeah,
sense
it shifts
versus-
you out of the thinking mind and into a more creative mind.
Yeah. Maybe this is something we talk more about next week, because this can be its own can of worms. But going...
Who's buying cans of worms?
Nobody. Nobody's ever
Exactly.
bought them. You
Buy
them
them
in
by
those
the
little
bucket.
No, you buy them in those little packages at the bait
Those
and
are
tackle
gummy
store.
worms.
No, the bait and tackle store. They give you those worms in the little container with the... Anyways, the can of worms that
just
maybe as a
spaghetti.
preview for next week is you mentioned before about, joy and suffering, but we can see those as being in balance. And living in an impermanent world, we tend to emphasize one over the other through the thinking mind. So if we're caught in our suffering, that's all we're focused on. If we have moments of joy, we may cling and try to possess that joy. There's another way. and that's where I think many of us are headed, and maybe even having these moments where we can see beyond the positive and the negative, where everything works together simultaneously. And this is the yin and the yang. Like we can notice the negative and not see the negative as bad, but see that the negative is interlaced with the positive.
It also holds the positive.
Yes, it
within
holds it with the
itself.
little polka dot.
The egg.
Right? Is that what it's supposed to be, an egg?
I don't know. That's what I always call
Oh, call it a polka dot.
it. Well, that's weird.
And then the positive has the little egg polka dot
It
of the
predates
negative.
polka.
So anyways, this is profound shit over here.
Yeah, let's get real
Let me get
deep.
through my thought. Groundbreaking information. This isn't new, folks. This is stuff that's been talked about forever.
Thousands
forever.
of
and
years.
and again, we can try to understand it intellectually. Yeah, the positive, we can't have the negative without the positive. We can't have the positive without the negative. We can understand that here. But can we actually sense its presence regardless of the conditions that we find ourselves in, regardless of the emotions or the state of the body or the thoughts of the mind? Can we be connected to this balance? And something that's really helped me with what I see on TV and these thoughts of what's happening in this world, and there's this I'll call it the negativity is being broadcasted right now, and it's in your face if you allow it to be in your face. And so what I started to do in realizing that, well, everything's always in balance. The universe is always in balance. This is something that I understand to be true. So if that's true, and I can see the negative things happening in the world, what can I also see that's positive, that's equally amplified? So if the negative is being amplified, then the positive must be amplified. If the negative is coming down, then the positive is coming down. So then from that standpoint, I can choose which one to focus on, or see everything that's happening as a wonderful orchestration of this universe that I don't know that I'll ever understand, but I can appreciate that somebody is out there making all this happen, and it's perfect. It's so perfect down to the littlest details. So then from there, in my own human experience, who am I to judge that I'm late to meeting this person, and what are they going to think of me?
Yeah, that's
or
my job.
I spilled some sauce on my shirt, or there's this moment of happiness, so how long it's going to last for. Who cares? Who cares?
It really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
And, you think about being paralyzed by fear. I think without some sort of understanding of positive and negative aspects of life, that's where fear paralysis comes from. Like, I'm thinking of incidents in my mind where I've been paralyzed by fear, but there's always that underlying current of this is all going to be all right. So it's the proactive thinking mind that's trying to take control. Like, what do we do? Okay, let's start making that happen. Or, what are the possibilities of the outcome of this? Or, any of the things we do to justify or fight against the negative outcome that we foresee, even if it's inevitable, why are we fighting it then?
Yeah.
Like, if we know, most people put the thought of death out of their mind because they fear it, and they know that it's inevitable. Embrace it in that moment. Embrace the fact that eventually this body that you own will be no more.
Food.
Well, not the way we do things. And accept the fact that transformation happens. Consciousness exists regardless of the physical form. It's just one level of it.
Death is inevitable.
Yes.
And we can create more suffering by trying to
But
prevent
death
suffering.
is such a harsh word. It's just moving from one state to another. It's a transition.
We make it into a harsh word, or we can make it into
because
a
of
harsh
fear.
word. Finality. We think death is final.
That it's
but
just
death
done.
is only the beginning. And the more we get comfortable with the life cycles, the death cycles,
You
in
see
our
that they
human
happen
experience,
every day.
They do. We go to bed. The sunrise, sunset. We go to bed. We, by the grace of whomever, wake up in the morning into these bodies. And so avoiding death would be like never sleeping.
It'd be like saying that every cell you were born with, or thinking that every cell you were born with is still who you are. Your whole body, I believe, cellularly regenerates every 7 years. Like, completely, fully new cells are developing all the time. Are those dead cells? Are you dead now because a cell you were born with has fallen to pieces? No, it's just become energy in another way.
And what would we be if we clung to these cells that were trying to die?
Old,
illness.
Yeah.
When we have congregated cells in our body,
It's called cancer.
It's called cancer. So let the shedding process take place, because there's new life happening. And this is like clinging to the life that we think that we want, yet we're unhappy, is insanity. It's insanity, right?
Yeah. We created an illusion of what we want.
Yeah.
And attaining that illusion is possible if you're willing to do the work for it. But it's not about sitting around and just going, I want this, so it will happen.
Yeah.
It's, I want this, what steps do I take to make this happen?
Right. We have to hold up our end of the bargain and be willing to move to bring newness into our life, as well as let go of the oldness.
Right, and that's the masculine and feminine that exists inside of each one of us. And the feminine sits and creates and knows, and then the masculine part, you have to let it out to take action. It's not about aggression versus softness. It's about action versus knowing. And they're not versus each other. They're holding hands, being guided by each other. the feminine quality within you is going to encourage you to take action, and the actions that you take are going to feed the information back to the feminine energy, and the cycle continues over and over again. That's another pole, though. We're talking about one pole right now. We don't need to get into another pole.
Well, and that to kind of like sum up what you just said, sitting around and waiting for happiness to come or waiting for what you desire to come isn't going to work. And
when is my perfect man gonna show up?
Yet we
when
don't leave our house
woman
or
gonna show
go,
up?
Meet people and all of that. Again, we're insane creatures. And then with the masculine, trying to force relationship into happening, or forcing a job, or, we can feel that resistance. When there's that resistance there, that means we're working against what the universe has easily prepared for us, what we have easily prepared for ourselves. So when there's that resistance, that's that time to pause. And if you aren't receiving our newsletters, please go onto our website, ordinarypioneer.com, scroll to the bottom and sign up for our newsletters. If you didn't receive this last one, shoot us an email and I will send that to you, because this is what I talk about is many of us are in this void right now. We've made changes in our life, whether we've wanted them to change or not. Some people's circumstances are truly out of their control. But then the next part hasn't quite taken place. So we're in this lull period. And what do we do with that time period in between creation? And this is, again, going with what you're saying, is the action versus the rest, or the drawing in and the letting go. Yeah. And we're in this time period. We're in this time period where action isn't helpful, and it's only going to reignite old patterns and cycles back into our life if we jump into the pool a little bit quickly than what's necessary. This is a time to regenerate, to understand ourselves and who we are becoming, because we're not who we were, and a time to understand and to sense the flow of the universe. So that's the channel we can delve into, versus thinking, we're going in a direction, but really it's created from a memory of what we thought made us happy before, and we reignite that cycle all over again.
Right.
So read the newsletter.
Go to www.ordinarypioneer.com. Hey, like and subscribe us here on Facebook. Are you posting these on YouTube?
Yeah, they're on YouTube.
Go to YouTube.
This keeps turning. They may already be on
Give
YouTube.
us a thumbs up.
All
subscribe to the channel. I'm doing all the things, right?
You're doing all. You're promoting it.
Stuff.
Let's close with some meditation.
Oh, okay. Hashtag stuff.
Please join us. We uplift our grateful hearts to the divine, loving presence of the universe. We acknowledge
Saw it coming.
the harmony, the balance within this universe we get to experience, and we give thanks for that balance, that no matter how difficult life appears to be, may we continue to know, understand, and trust that everything is moving forward exactly as it needs to for us to experience the highest level of love through the human form. And together, we'll take a deep breath in and release as one. Okay.
Choose your own adventure, everybody.
Choose your own adventure.
That doesn't mean sit around and read a choose your own adventure book.
You can do that too.
Well, yeah, but don't expect the outcome to be yours.
Oh, yeah. Don't do that. Please let us know if there's any particular topics you want us to cover during
like maybe
these...
Windschuler's bar
Nope,
cheese.
nope. not that. No cheese. I'll talk about the chemicals in there. And then I'll eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we're in summer and there's a lot of breathing room in our schedule right now, we invite you to schedule some one-on-one sessions with us to keep that momentum going. Also, this platform can be used for us to continue to engage with each other during the summertime. So it allows you to go out and do all your fun summer things, but also stay connected into the community. So please comment any thoughts, ideas, insights that you have in the comments. Please share this with any friends that you think would resonate with this too.
Or enemies.
Them too. Or enemies. So you say, here, you need to read this. You need to look at this. So we give thanks for your support. And please join us August 8th for our 5th annual Create Community Peace Fest. Information is on Facebook and our website too. We are looking for some volunteers, so if you want to be involved.
Are we?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know we needed more volunteers.
Well, it's a way to be included in the event and
Oh,
kind of
come on out and volunteer.
Yeah, so it's
I'll nap the whole time. You can run the show.
No, you're not napping. We are actually doing this just in. Should we tell them about the ice bucket challenge?
Oh, you're sure.
So a part of our fundraising efforts for this event, we're going to have a little friendly competition, and there's going to be a bucket of ice involved and 2 people involved.
That would be us.
So you get to vote.
It's not a mystery.
Through a financial investment, who you want the ice bucket to be poured on top of. So
I expect to have a seizure that day.
We'll have the medics on hand.
I have a feeling it's going to be really, really hot out this August.
Are you creating that?
I am. I'm manifesting
It's going to be the most perfect temperature, and whatever temperature that is.
It's not going to be that year where it was like 72 and windy.
Oh yeah, it was cold. It was like 60s that day. Anyways, we digress. Thank you for joining us in this way, and we will see you soon.
Have a good week.